Good morning, trading world. It is March 25th, 2022, 8:18 a.m., and this is my pre-market outlook and technical analysis for day trading the SPY. All right, getting into today's outlook. The title for today is Bigger View Needed to See What's Happening Now. As the VIX continues to fall, it's important to manage your time frame views. Looking at the longer term to see short-term moves. Right now, the time frame that is in control is the hourly, but the hourly may not explain what happens the entire day today. All intraday time frames are nearly overbought or completely overbought, and there are patterns forming. If you are only looking at the intraday time frames, you miss the bigger patterns, and the indicators telling you what you see is false on the intraday looks. The intraday says the move up is done, but the daily and weekly say we have some more to go to the upside. Because I'm running late this morning, let me go ahead and jump to the key levels for today. All right, here we are back with the key levels of the day. Starting on the resistance side, we have Jack resistance at 451 to 452 area, Queen resistance at the 453 to 454 area, and King resistance at the 459. That is wrong. Should be 455 to 459. Give me just a second to correct that. All right, there we go. With the correction, 455 to 459 is the King resistance area. On the support side, Jack support is 450 to 449 area. Queen support is 448 to 447 area, and King support is 446 to the 442 area. Again, I keep getting a lot of questions about the Jack, Queen, King. There's nothing big to it. It's just a way for me to rank support and resistance level. No difference than what you see R1, R2, R3. Again, I used to play a lot of cards, so Jack, Queen, King. That's it. There's nothing special about it. Now, as far as today goes, the main thesis for today is bearish, closing below 450.49 with a projected low or target of 446 to 440. The alternate thesis is bullish, closing above the 449 with a projected high or target somewhere between 450 to 454. I should say something about this right now. The feeling that I'm getting going into today, or just some of the things, whenever there's a gap in internals, things will be irrational. And they will remain irrational until the gap is filled. And that means that your intraday indicators could be near tops and saying one thing, but price action is going to do something completely different. So when it comes to this alternate thesis today, the alternate thesis could be much more explosive than the numbers say or that the transactions say right now. Because if we get to a point where everybody's leaning one way, which is short, and we pop or break out to the top side, going the opposite direction of where everybody is leaning, we get a very, very explosive action on the alternate thesis. It's known as gamma squeezes, or even though we're not near a top, a lot of times you get this where it's called a blow off top. Even though we're not near the top, the action is pretty much the same. That explosive movement forcing everybody to cover and go the opposite direction. So right now, the time frame that is in control is the hourly, as the daily is now in overbought territory. The current channel we're in is 425 to 453, with the minor channel being 443 to 453. I just spoke about this. As internals are gapped, it leaves us to have another irrational day where intraday indicators may play tricks on you, leading us to what may be seen as an explosive event on the alternate thesis. So I hope I'm driving that home enough, because today could be very different. Let me get to the scenarios of the day. All right, our first scenario is our trend day up model. We open gap up and start with a fade back toward the previous close, represented by the blue line. We find support on or before the previous close, and then we begin the uptrend for the morning, which in this case might be pretty significant. We find midday chop around either the possible queen or king resistance. There could be a I'm not even going to talk about the vice versa on this side, because there would be so much ground to cover. All right, that is scenario number one, our trend day up scenario. This is definitely one of those days that you don't want to have or get taken by surprise, because it could be very explosive today. All right, scenario number two could be our expansive range day structure. We could look to set a decision area upper boundary around the jack or queen resistance area before chopping lower, then pushing boundaries higher. And this could carry throughout the day, with the second half or end of the day kind of going either blow off topish type scenario where we just continue on up through the close, or we could come down and kind of fade into the close. And that's going to tell us a great deal about next week. If we continue to pop into the close, this may still carry over into next week. And let me bring up the last scenario. All right, the last scenario is our rounded reversal day type structure. We could get a continued push lower toward the jack or queen support area and find midday chop around either the queen or king support area before opening up the second half of the day using the same amount of force that we came down with the first half of the day. You see that about same force going back up the second half of the day. This scenario does have a highly probable vice versa, which would be something like this. Going up first half of the day, midday chop around either the queen or king resistance area, and then second day falling off with the same amount of energy that we rose up with. Again, I stress to be careful. It just has that feeling that this day could take a lot of people by surprise. The algos could kind of take over on a low volume day and push this through resistance, and we just keep going up. So I want you to be very, very careful in your position planning based on that today. All right, as always, please understand and know your risk. Wishing you a positive trading day. Hope this helps. Have a great day.